Hey class, just thought I'd catch up with you for a few minutes and give you some feedback on your discussions around group norms and social loafing, and just have a few comments about looking ahead with the work you're going to be doing this week. First of all, as a whole, I would say that the quality of your initial posts are very good. Remember, we're supposed to be demonstrating that we've read the text and perhaps perused some of the videos that have gone along with that. So if we put some page numbers down, that helps us to stay on track. So on the whole, very nice job on that. Pretty good interaction with others. I would also remember that it's certainly okay to refer to page numbers, to go back to the text or speak to your experience, which, by the way, all of you are doing a really nice job. Really, your interaction should have two sides to it. One is what did we learn from the text and whatever materials we're using that week. The other thing is what experience do you have, and how are you relating that to the material that we're seeing in Levy's book. So good job on that. Wanted to make a few comments about some of the things that you were bringing up. And don't forget that one of the reasons that it used to be, you've probably seen some things that suggested you had to have your initial post in on Wednesday night. I moved that to Thursday for the purpose of giving you an extra day to spend some time in the material. So give it some thought and some preparation before you put your initial post in there. And so that the quality of those discussions really continues to improve. That'll be great. One of you were talking about a team that you were on that had poor leadership that was swapped out for some strong leadership, and how what a difference that made in terms of behavior and some of the norms that ended up being adopted. Used the term power vacuum that happened when there was really no leadership. You can have a power vacuum when there's no leaders, but you can have a power vacuum when you have ineffective leaders as well. Some of you talked about how you thought was the downside of norms is that they push conformity, which is true. But if we're if we're creating the right kinds of norms, then it's conformity that's important. Because as a rule, norms deal with what we can expect from each other. And all of us conforming to how we treat each other is pretty important. There was some talk about being part of working with a team that's in different groups, different departments, and that you had different ways of getting things done. That's really a process. It's goal alignment and process, not particularly norms. You talked about professional etiquette as kind of a cluster of norms in a team, which I like that term, and that's really, when you think about it, what I just was talking about, professional etiquette is certainly a good cluster of norms to begin with. Let's see. Comments about positive and negative norms. Hopefully that there should be no norm that you actually create as a team that's negative in its impact. If it is, you either have to modify it or drop it. And remember, norms are dynamic. They ebb and flow. We change, we add, we subtract, whatever it takes to make sure that the norms are giving us the outcomes that we want. Good group norms position a team to be successful. That's kind of the bottom line. And so if somebody's talking about a norm, proposing a new one, the question would be, okay, how will that make us successful in our work? Anyway, I guess just a few of the things that I wanted to mention. I'm a big believer in team norms. The work that I do, so I do some consulting work, working with teams. And the very first thing we do is start to develop a series of group norms. Operating principles is what I tend to call them. So anyway, keep up the good work on that. Really lean into those discussions, demonstrate the material. As I think I mentioned, I really like this book. Actually, he packs a lot in, so I know that it's a tough read. But when you're taking an 8-week course, that's kind of how it works out, right? Chapters 5 and 6 coming up. We're going to take a look at the 3 C's, which I'm sure you'll agree. Can't wait to read some of your posts on this. Cooperation, competition, and communication. all critically important. Almost everything revolves around our ability to communicate effectively. And so I'll be interested in your outlook on that. One of the definitions I use in my work for communication, tell me what you think of it, is it's really only two pieces. Communication is the transfer of information, pretty standard. But the second piece of it is that there's a common understanding about what's been said in all directions. Not talking about agreement, persuasion, or any of that. But when you get up, everybody has a common understanding about what's been talked about. I would suggest that's not often the case. In some organizations, it might rarely be the case because of personal motives or people, some social loafing, people slacking off. But communication is key. So anyway, good luck this week. Keep up the good work, and I'll see you soon.